Hi guys, and welcome back to another FIFA 22 video. Obviously on the screen you can see the FUT 21 web app, and that's because FIFA 22 is not out as of yet. So this video is going to be just based on the web app and different things you can do when it is released, because obviously it comes out before everything else. Before we get into the video, please make sure to like and subscribe. At the time of recording this, we're at something like 959, I think, subscribers, so we're almost at 1,000. Absolutely smashing it. Support on the last video was huge. Doing really well, so really appreciate it. So, the web app, what is it? The web app is access to Ultimate Team on the internet, so you can trade on there, you can build your team, you can look at cards, complete SBCs, all of that, and they just can't play a game. You also can't upload like FIFA points and things like that, so this is literally great at the early part of the game, but later on it can fall off a little bit. So, what we want to do on it, I suppose we want to make as many coins as possible. When you first log on, you're going to be asked to make your starter team. I personally would recommend Brazil, England or Argentina. Reason being is they have a lot of players in a lot of leagues. So for example with Brazil, there's a lot of players, obviously you have the Brazilian league, but then you have players in a magnitude of leagues. All the leagues basically have someone Brazilian, especially on them lower rated cards. They're kind of dotted all over the world, so when it comes to the SBCs they're really good to use. Secondly, you have England. England itself, there's not a lot of English players in foreign leagues, but you have the English leagues and the National League, which is quite good. And if you wanted to go down the Prem route, England can be quite a good choice anyway, so it could help for your starter team. But as leagues go, they're quite dynamic. Then Argentina, across a huge amount of leagues, similar to Brazil, all dotted around all over the place. Once you've selected that, you're also going to get your welcome backpacks. So you'll go on, you'll get these welcome backpacks. Obviously if you've been playing, I think it does vary for how long you've been playing, and how old your account is, so on and so forth. So you'll get a bunch of packs back, and at that point what you can do is open them packs, and you can look to do a couple of things. So you can either look to sell everything, which is one route, look if you've got any meta cards and hold them. You can keep hold of anything that you think may be worth using in your team. Personally, I go down the route of selling most things. If you get anything that's good, a meta card, for example, you get, let's use like Sane as an example. You pack a Sane who is a good player, who you know is going to be worth like 100k-ish. So you pack Sane, you look at the market and he's 20k. Question is, can you do more of that 20k now? Or if you hold him for a couple of days until people open more packs, get more coins, are you going to get more then? Because what will happen is it's very much the market of supply and demand. So there is not a lot of coins on the market, so it's very much the supply on cards isn't huge, not a lot of packs been opened, so you've probably got one of very minimal amounts of this player. Demand is huge, people want these meta cards, and then when it goes through with the people wanting them, they only have a limited amount of coins, so they can only pay as much as they want. A player's only worth what someone can pay. At that point, not a lot of people can pay a lot, so it gets, I suppose, as people's coins increase, that player's value increases, especially early game. Later in the game, obviously, his price will then come down, but early on it goes up, later on it comes down. That's kind of the way it'll work. So keep hold of anyone like that, but sell all the other bits and bobs. See if you can get a bargain, get a good price for them, and go from then. Once even if you were to quick sell all of them, you're probably looking between 5 to 10k on your return. So 10k is a great starting block, say. 5k is still a decent starting block. You can get kind of good money returning. So once you've done that, you're going to be able to pick a lone player for your team. That's another option you get very early on. So you get to select in your starting team a lone player. Personally, I'd go for an attacking option. It's going to be useful early in your squad build. And also, if you think you can get a good centre back, but realistically you want someone who's going to be able to score goals. So aim for that attacking option. Once you've done all this, you've got some coins, go on to the league SBCs. So you're going to be able to do quite a few of the basic ones. So you should be able to get the first 4 basic ones blitzed out. Try not to use all of your single nationality. So if you've got some players that are off nationality bronzes, use them. try not to use all of your Argentinians, all your Brazilians, all your Englishmen, all your Germans, whatever you decide to go for. So you finish your basics and then you go on to the next. At that point you get the Advanced League SBCs. Hybrid leagues and nations tend to require less loyalty and you'll get a decent pack. So just keep that in mind. So if you can do all of them and then do the pack, great. What I like to try and do is do all of the SBCs and not open the packs. So I'll trade and use my profit to buy players for the SBC, or I trade with the players I'm going to use for the SBC, for example, and then pop them in, submit the SBC and keep the pack. So I'd rather do a pack binge than one every now and then. That's personal preference. And also I feel like if you're opening lots in a row, you've got more chance. I don't know. I don't think there's any way of actually determining what you get, but it's just the way I feel on it. The best thing to do when you're doing like these league SBCs and the hybrid leagues, try and use obscure leagues. So if you are able to not use the Premier League, Serie A, Liga 1, La Liga, Bundesliga, avoid them. Top 5 leagues are going to be popular, a lot of people are going to go to them. If you can complete them with obscure, random, off-nation leagues, you're more likely to complete it for cheap, because what's going to happen is they're all going to be price fixed. But what that leads on to is how to trade. So what you can do is, one of the options is SBC solution trading. So you'll go on, you'll have a look at teams on Footbin's a great option. On Footbin, you have a, if I can find it, it would always be good. You have like active challenges, and it will show here. So this is obviously SBCs at the moment, but they will show you what the cheapest way to do these SBCs are. Yeah, it gives you a ballpark figure of what you can expect to spend on it, which is nice, but the solutions can be rigged, because for example if we go one of the cheap ones like this one for example, oh wait, if we can go on to squad building challenges. Right, so these tend to be what you're going to get, the League and Nation Hybrid, the Hybrid Nations. So League and Nation Hybrid, it says 13, well you get 13k, so you can see here 7k to complete. So you go on completed challenges, you have a look, and this squad 460, you go on it and you're like, right, this is going to be the one that's going to be the solution I'm going to follow, and you follow all these players. What can happen is these players can get price fixed. So at the moment you can see they're all like 600 coins, 700 coins. What's happened there is they could be 350 coin players, but everyone's gone, well I want to do that, I want to complete this and get the pack. So everyone goes and buys them and their price surges. At this point in the game these SBCs aren't popular, but beginning part, they're the best SBC to complete. So everyone goes on and rushes. If you've done this with obscure leagues, like on this side obviously you've got the Mexican league, but then you've got that along with the Spanish league, and what they've done is they've just price fixed them players because people are lazy and they like to go on and buy a certain, I suppose, player. One option you've got there is what's mass bidding. So mass bidding is where you'd go, for example, on the transfer market and you go for a popular league, so Premier League, and say the max buy now 600. You have a look and you see, ignore that, you want it to be gold at least, quality gold. You search and you see there's 8 minutes left, so 600 they're selling, 550 they're selling. Right, so you have a choice at this point. They're going to be going instantly, so you ignore that. At this point you can say 350. They're selling at 600, you know full well you can go up to 450 and sell at 600 and make, what have I done? Put it in the wrong bit. So you go on to bid and you put 450 in. You search and you have a look and look, 300 coins, 400 coins, 400 coins, 450 will go up to 450, 300, and you just bid like this. You bid the whole way along. This is still a relatively good way of making coins, it seems. So you bid your whole way along all these, because on the web app you're not aiming, especially on day one, if you're aiming for huge flips, you're a lot more confident than I am. You can get lucky, don't get me wrong, you can get hugely lucky, you can find a bargain. Every now and then you'll be searching and something will pop up and just have a feeling it's going to make you a good amount of coins, so you'd buy it, you'd flip it and you'd sell it on. So you bid like this and you just blitz through. At the moment I think my face will be in the way, but I have about 100k on here. Obviously we won't have that, we'll only have a bit. But you look and you bid. They've sold there, but you keep an eye, and occasionally you're going to win one. If you keep on top of them, or if you keep an eye on them and you see where you're being outbid, you can actually go and bid against the people and win these cards. It's slow. I'm going to be honest with you, you've got to dedicate time to this. Where that trading day one is not a get rich quick method. It's a slow, painful experience, but the more coins you get, the easier it is because you can bid on more players. At the beginning when you start, say you have 5k, you can bid on what? 10 players? No, you can bid on a bit more than that. 10, 15 players you can bid on, say. So you can bid on 15 players and you just keep monitoring it and you keep going. Keep bidding, and you don't. If you get disheartened, at that point you're pooped, because if you want small wins multiple times. So if you want to make 10k, you want to make 200 coins consistently on cards. If you want one 10k flip, you can spend hours and hours on that. But as this shows, I know this is later in the game, don't get me wrong, but if say we sell all these for 200 coins profit, we actually probably would. So 2, 4, 6, 8. I've got over a k here just in profit instantly, and that's the route for it. So you buy at this, and then you'd go and you'd sell it. Was it 650? I think it was. So you just list for 650, and you sit. They sell, and you rinse and repeat. So this is a really quick way of doubling your money, in all honesty. It's not the fastest method in the world, but it also works. So that's my personal opinion on a really good method to make coins. Once you've got a larger amount, also on this, by the way, what I've just done early in the game, if you win someone for 350, compare the price, look at the market, see what's going on, because at the end of the day, people could be selling for a little bit more than you expect. So you think it's like, oh yeah, it's just easy flip at 600 minimum sell. You look and they're at a 1k card. So there's that side of it as well. So when you buy one, you want to compare the market and have a look at their cheapest buy now, sell. What will happen after the first few times you've done it, you'll learn the players, you'll learn everything, and what the minimum and maximum kind of coins you can make on them are. But just remember, you get 5% EA tax on there. The next route we have is flipping popular league cards that are going to be kind of meta. So like St. Maximin this year, I think he actually was price capped. So what people would do is sit and snipe them, but find one with not an unrealistic price cap and try and snipe them for below. So you say, for example, you look it up, they're going at 10k and they're selling quickly. Within 5 minutes, that seems fair, they're selling. Say it's a 10k card, you've got yourself up to 10k. Try and snipe at 8.5, 9k below, probably 8.5k, and just sit and try and snipe that card. If you win that card, instant flip it, go again. This method is good for a larger profit. So this one you can make a lot more money a lot quicker. Personally prefer mass bidding. Sniping takes time, but I do it every year, and I do tend to pull off a couple of decent ones. Nothing huge, but I do tend to pull off a couple of them where I make a few k here, a few k there, and rather than bidding on 10 players to get a k, I buy one and I get 3k. And at that point you're like, oh, that's quite tempting. At that point your money's jumping quite quickly. You may get to a point where you can buy one, buy another. Also, the problem with this is if, for example, you're sniping at the maximum amount of your budget, you're losing everything quickly. You can look to snipe, so on this method, we know they're going at 650, but you can say 400 and just see if they appear. I've been booted off of webapp for checking twice. But yeah, that's kind of the main routes I would personally go down. People do a lot more kind of different things. But for me, I look at it as minimal profit consistently, and small wins add up to a huge amount, and that's the main thing. Using your small amount of coins just to increase it a bit. If you can increase, say you start at 10k and you increase it by 20%, you're there at 12k. At that point you want to increase that 12k by 20%, and so on, so on, so on. It just keeps going at that point. You're going to make more and more coins, and If you're dedicated, you can earn a lot of coins at this point, because once your coins are up, everyone else is still quite poor. So you want to keep pushing, 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 pushing. Eventually you push the roof of your coins up, you get a larger pot, and that larger pot you can play with. At that point you can look to invest or continue to bid. What I like to do is have a couple of routes going. So I'll invest in some meta players. So once I get to X amount of coins, I'll say I want to keep, because I know full well that if I can get to 20k from 5k, I can do it again. So if you get to 20k, 15k at that, you can invest in some meta cards, players, prices that will increase and get better and better. You can just keep rolling that, running on that same kind of momentum. So you spend 15k on investment at that point, or a couple of investments where you know they're meta players that are going to be popular and people want them. Have a look online. People will always be posting, oh, this is the start team I want, this is the start team I want. A lot of hype about certain cards, new players in the league, so on and so forth, that they're going to want. But at that point, everyone is going, boom, I really want that card. You manage to get it at, say, 10, 15k, and then 24 hours to 48 hours later, that card, or people who are on the game, more coins are coming into the market, their prices are going up. Once their prices rise, you can sell and you get even more profit. But that 5k in the meantime, you're bidding and you're rolling up again to 20k. You're at 20k, you buy another lot of 15k investments, 5k again, and go. Obviously your numbers can vary on what you want to invest and what you want to bid. That's up to you. Work out what works for you, but aim for small wins. Small wins are going to make you big coins. That's always my method throughout the entirety of the year of FIFA. Small wins are huge. At the end of the day, so day one, where that's released, you've been trading, you've got yourself your pot of 20k, you've got a couple of investments sat there, you've got a bunch of coins and you're happy. At this point, the best thing to do, and I genuinely believe this, is invest. Pick meta players. Never log off with coins in your account on day one. You should put that into cards that you think are going to increase in price. Because at that point, you go to bed, you wake up the next day and you go, oh, let's have a look at what they're worth. They could have gone up a couple of k. Then your coins are working for you, you make more money. That's, I suppose, it for the webapp guide. It's been a bit of a ramble, I'm going to be honest. I'd written out a load of stuff that I wanted to say, and throughout I kind of looked down and I was like, oh, I need to say that, oh, I need to say that. Bit of a ramble, but all in all, I think the details are in there. Obviously, any questions, let me know down below. You can also tweet me. My Twitter's in the description. And yeah, if there's anything you want to know, let me know. We're going to have a early access guide, we're going to have a pre-order guide and full day release guide, and then we're also going to have a look at multiple different things that we can do. But at the moment, that's kind of it. I hope your webapp goes well. I think I'll probably be streaming for it, so we'll do a webapp stream. I'll show you me just kind of going mad in trying to make as many coins as I can. It'll probably not go very well, because that tends to be the way. When I'm streaming, I'll chat a lot, I'll waffle, get distracted, but I need to just focus and grind. But yeah, I hope it goes well. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you at the next video. Make sure to like and subscribe. Cheers guys, see you soon.